What's up, ladies and gents, Noli here, welcome to another Payday 2 video. This is going to be very much in the same style as the videos you've seen recently while I've been away. Some random Payday Crimewave edition footage with some equally random conversation topics, and hopefully you guys enjoy this format and you're enjoying the videos even while I'm away. Today we're going to be talking about Crimewave edition, but specifically why I've had so much fun with it, and also some of the differences between these sort of weapon meta setups to what we see on PC, because it is a very different experience if you ask me. And also difficulty-wise, I'm going to talk about how I think that Crimewave edition might have a couple of touches to make it a little easier to compensate for how much harder it is to control your character with dual analog sticks as compared to WASD and a mouse. So let's start things off by talking about the weapons. Now, my favourite weapon right now in Crimewave edition on the Xbox One is the Akimbo Baronetti 9s. Bit of a mouthful, but they really are powerful. They were always my favourite Akimbo weapon on the PC version, but they've translated so well over to the to the Xbox version, or to Crimewave edition. Now, the reason why I think they are so strong is because of the surprisingly high spread they have, but also your ability to focus down and shoot at decent range with this thing. They're amazing ammo pickup as well. It's so important. Now, your accuracy on Crimewave edition is consistently going to be lower than what you're coming up with on the PC version. It's as simple as that. PC, I'd say standard average accuracy, maybe roughly 60% when you're using your standard assault rifles. You're looking for roughly 35% if you're shooting a lot with fully auto rifles on the console versions, and that's to be expected because it's so much harder to control, to aim. Recoil in Payday is such an important factor, you know, making those guns feel lifelike, making them feel different, and it's very noticeable compared to other popular console shooters like Call of Duty, where you don't kick at all with your weapons. You know, you hold basically perfectly steady. Payday is a real shot apart, and you're going to feel that. You're going to experience that so much more. It's so much harder to control that recoil, and as I've said in the past, it's so important to get some stability and accuracy if you want to hit those shots. So for that reason, generally, weapons that shoot a little bit slower are a little more functional, or Akimbo pistols, or pistols on their own, to be honest. The semi-automatics are really powerful, so my favourite setup right now is undoubtedly the Akimbo Baronettis and the Gruber Kurtz. It's a really good, efficient setup that can be very Deathwish viable on the console version. But generally, they're not the most powerful weapons on PC. What surprised me is snipers are strong on PC, right? You know, the Thanatos is bread and butter. Someone likes to bring it along on Deathwish to deal with those bulldozers. The Nagant's really strong. It can be used in crit and dodge builds. And they're loads of fun because it's quite easy to aim with a mouse. But they're also quite powerful, notably so on the console version. And that is because of the reasonably slow rate of fire. If you're good at aiming on a console, you're going to be able to hit that first shot. And because of the time between shots, you're going to be able to be back in your steady position, whereas if you're shooting a fully auto, you're going to be kicking up to the roof in no time at all. So the pistols and the snipers are very strong. Also LMGs. The spread, if anything, feels like it benefits them, and I'm sure same is going to be said for the minigun when that comes out, when we get the Overkill pack on Crimewave edition. Explosives, very strong. GL40. The RPG as well, when that comes out, both going to be really, really strong options to take on heists. Melee at times feels more functional than it does on the PC version because it's a better option than just shooting your fully auto half the time. Finally, what else? Shotguns. Shotguns are still monstrously powerful, both on PC and on the console edition, but you'll notice them accentuated a little more in console, because that spread can be used to your advantage, slower rate of fire, all those features make them more powerful. And so because there's a slightly different meta, because playstyles are very different, player ability is very different, you are going to experience something quite far removed from the PC experience. So as far as weapons are concerned, Those are the differences. However, there is another feature of the of Crimewave which I have noted, and I don't know whether this is entirely true, but this is just from my personal experience. I remember in the past trying to solo Hotstone Breakout on PC on Overkill. Very doable, don't get me wrong, but it is a pain in the ass. It really is. Pardon my French. I don't know whether you guys say that. It's kind of a colloquialism for I used bad language, please excuse me. I'm pretty sure that's a very British thing to say. Well, it's certainly not a French thing to say. Anyway, you might struggle, and I feel that this is for a couple of reasons. Volume of enemies on Overkill. Real volume you've got to deal with on PC. And reasonably high accuracy. I feel, and this may not be entirely true, I'd love someone to prove or disprove otherwise this theory, but I feel like accuracy, the AI is just as intelligent as it is on PC, but maybe AI accuracy is a little lower, and maybe max AI spawns is reduced for the console version, as well as the frame rate, just to make it more manageable. It's distinctly possible, and it might be why Overkill and Deathwish feels marginally easier on Crimewave Edition, despite it generally being much harder to aim and move around. That's just a theory of mine. Don't know whether it's true or not. I'd love someone to test it out. What else is there? My experience on Crimewave, why I've loved it so much. Well, it's rekindled some of the original reasons why I adored Payday. The group focus is much more evident. People are new to the game, they don't necessarily know what they're doing. Everyone is relying on each other that bit more. It's less kill heavy. People are playing the objective with a greater focus. And so my group experience has been much better. Far fewer people kicking. That might just be because matchmaking is awful right now, and you're just happy to get into a lobby, but you don't see people getting kicked very frequently on the console edition, the Crimewave edition, in my experience anyway. But also the fact that I'm able to customize masks because I don't need to save my patterns, materials, and colors. I love doing that. I love customizing my style, trying out different things that I've been able to, that on the PC version feel a little more rigid, with the reasonably high kick ratio, the more distinct meta of weapons that you should and shouldn't choose. And so I've really enjoyed that, and just being able to pick up Payday from a more evolved standpoint and being able to level with all the updates that improve the game made my experience that much better than it was even when I started playing Payday 2 nearly 2 years ago. We're coming up very close to Payday 2's anniversary. I believe the full release was in August, so just a couple more months now until we have a 2-year anniversary of Payday 2. Time has really flown by. Now, these casual commentary videos are going to be of an assorted length. I'm going to leave this one here because I don't have that much else to talk about on Crimewave, other than to say that I love it, and I was really surprised that I was able to rekindle some of the early joy for Payday 2. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoy Payday 2 on PC, but it's a more refined experience there. The sort of mad hat enjoyment when you start playing Payday 2 was what I found again with Crimewave, and I loved it. I've already done over 350 heists, something along those lines, and I imagine I'm still going to go strong, especially as soon as I return from the interrailing trip. So thanks a lot for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you all next one.
That was easy. Nice work. Unfortunately, Hector just told me the FBI... Well, turns out the FBI are escorting the Mendozas out of the country. Maybe they have a deal, maybe they don't. Frankly, I don't give a crap whether they're renditioning them or whatever. All the heads are on that bus, money and all. Get the money, eliminate the Mendoza top guys, and end this story. We'll go in by chopper.